On a warm July evening in 2021, the small community of West Salem, Wisconsin, would be shattered by a crime so brutal, it would leave even veteran detectives shaken. Khamthaneth Rattanasack, a man convinced that he was owed a debt, set a deadly plan into motion. His targets, Peng Lor, Nemo Yang, and Trevor Maloney. He lured them to a remote, isolated stretch of road, far from witnesses, far from help. What began as a confrontation over money spiraled into a calculated execution. Under the cold night sky, the three men were forced to kneel. In a chilling moment of premeditation, Rattanasack handed a loaded handgun to his accomplice, and watched as the trigger was pulled, again and again. In this video, you'll witness the real interrogation footage as investigators dismantle Rattanasack's web of lies, pushing him toward a confession that would seal his fate. We'll walk you through the step-by-step breakdown of the case, from the haunting crime scene, to the psychological tactics used in the interview room, to the final gavel strike in January 2024 that sentenced him to life in prison. This is more than just a story of one man's deadly choices. It's a deep dive into the anatomy of a triple homicide, and the ripple effect it left on families, friends, and an entire community. This is the interrogation of Khamthaneth Rattanasack.
You need a pen? You
got a pen. I don't have my glasses though.
I was just gonna say my glasses. Hey!
So, like Bernardo said, just, your honesty, we're going to go over some things. First question I've got is, so when I interviewed the last time, everybody on the street was using a name for you, that you said nobody calls you that.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, but everybody referred to you as the same thing.
Right.
What was that name?
Chino?
Black.
No.
Everybody called you Black.
No.
Black or Blackie?
Nope. Blackie's cool fool. That's another dude.
Yeah.
So
everybody talked to you about that. What was yours? Yours was Chino?
Yeah, mine's Chino. What these guys, what they're referring to, if that's something that, I never told anybody my name. I never gave them what it was.
You never heard, nobody ever, the people in the cross, you never heard anybody refer to you as Black or Blackie?
Oh no, yeah, I've heard it, yes.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm saying, I never...
You never said that.
Right.
I never denied it either. It's not that big of a deal.
Right, yeah, I'm just...
The location that everything ended up at, who picked that out? How did you find that spot?
Listen, I don't know my way around across from the land.
Yeah.
When I pulled over after I got done, me and Nemo had already come to an agreement. I told them, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what you guys are doing. So they were the ones who picked it up.
Okay.
So Bridget was the one driving. So wherever Bridget was driving to, that's where.
And you just mentioned, and I said I'm not going to go into great detail of stuff, but you mentioned that you and Nemo had come to an agreement.
Yeah, well, because I told you I owed him money. So I told him, listen, I'm going to give you the half ounce that I owe you, and then you can do whatever with him, so that you guys can, fix whatever it is that you guys need to fix between them or whatever. Because at first I thought, listen, did you take it? When I could tell that he wasn't lying, that he didn't take it, I was like, okay, you know what, I'm going to give you the half ounce that I owe you, and then you can do whatever and decide. And that's when I was like, listen, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what's going on. That's when I pulled over. It's like, okay, now him and I were already squared what I was going to do.
What was it that you asked him if you took?
If he took any of Cush's credit cards.
Okay.
Or whatever that was missing. Whatever it was that was missing, I don't even know what was missing. I just know it was a card. That's all I, you know what I'm saying? Or
somebody stole a card that belonged to Cush?
Right.
You don't know how much money or anything like that was?
for the amount that's thrown out there, it's like, come on, that's, you know, like for the amount of what it was. Kush was the one that owed me money. And it was from a previous time, and it was also for the second time that I came here, you know, I mean, because, you know, I was out there.
You were slinging.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so.
Absolutely, I was out there and I was slinging, so.
Were you guys, the night in question, were you smoking meth?
I wasn't smoking, I was snorting.
You were snorting meth?
Yeah.
So were you all, what was Kush doing?
They were the same. He was smoking, they all were.
They all meaning?
Like, I mean, well, as far as they all used. Every single person used.
So was our
Bridget, like, I never met the other individuals. Nemo's like the only, it was Nemo, Kush, and Bridget are the only ones I know. Like, that I met, you know, like the other, I didn't know anything about.
What level would you say that your intoxication on meth would have been that night? What about the others?
I can't assume. I don't know.
You know what somebody that's high on meth looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, you're through your experience,
Right.
You know, through my experience, I know what somebody looks like when they're high on meth. And you can kind of give a gauge of, you know, are they really messed up, or are they, you know, they're tweaking, but they're not like
Right.
off the rails.
Yeah.
Anything in between there, or
For them?
yeah.
Yeah. They were high.
Okay.
You know, I can't give you like level because I wasn't them, but myself personally, I was. You know, I do this because I hadn't slept for days prior to that, and then I took that little short nap to be woken in the hotel room, you know, and then I get up, and you know, right away there's what's her name? E and Kush, and this other dude I didn't know. So, you know, like that's when I woke up, and I was just like, dude, I can't deal with all of that drama, you know. And that's just where that night started, you know, for me. And it was just like, oh, it was an uncomfortable night.
Sure.
Frustrating night.
What do you think was going to happen when you got to the quarry?
I didn't know what was happening.
Okay.
I had no idea.
Kush was, correct me if I'm wrong, but from before he said, you know, that Kush wanted his money back. That was somebody stole his money, and then we gathered up these guys, and what were you understanding that was? I mean, why are we now throwing everybody in cars and driving someplace and getting out?
Well, initially, when Nemo got in the car with me, I didn't want Kush to hurt him. I didn't want anything to happen to Nemo because that's who he was beefing with. I didn't know the other two. And I saw that Bridget had, you know, like, she comes out there, and for myself personally, the way I took it was, okay, it was just very, I can't say coincidental that at the same time we end up at the same lights, you know, and where I was supposed to be going was to the hotel to see what's his face. Bam. So that's where I thought we were going. When she showed up, that's when he was like, oh, I'm like, is that her car? You know? But I was already I was talking to her on the phone already, you know, and I was like, listen, I don't know what you're doing. There was things that I didn't even know what they were doing behind my back, so on and so forth. These are things that I found out later down the road, but that night, it was just, I wanted to just square it away. I wanted to tell Kush, like, listen, you owe me the money. I was really basically packing up and getting ready to leave that night. I was getting ready to go and get away from everybody. I didn't care about the hotel room and how much longer I had it. I didn't care. I just wanted to go. So that night, there was no expectations. I didn't have any expectations. I didn't know what was going on that night.
So you're behind Bridget's car at the light, you said, right?
No. I'm in the right turn lane. She's in the left turn lane.
Okay.
At the lights.
All right.
Okay. I'm over here. She was over here, and I just looked over, and I was still on, like, I was talking to her per se, and he was just like, follow him. I said, okay.
Tell me what happened from the lights.
I just told him. I asked him. I said, dude, I thought we were going to the hotel. And then I was like, is that really you in front of me? You know, like, she was like, I don't know. I was like, well, just tap your brakes and let me know if that's really you, because I didn't believe him. I didn't know that was her. I don't know, you know. So then I asked her, I said, well, where are you going? She said, I'm going to work so I can drop off these papers. I said, okay. So when we get over there, I don't know Nemo's in the car. I don't know who's in the car with her. So when we pulled up, he got out, went over to the car.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so he went over to the car. She gets out of the car and she walks into the building, you know, and when he opens the door, I don't know what's going on. I just seen the guy in the front passenger. He's on his phone. I don't know what's going on. I get out of the car and I tell him, I'm like, dude, listen, I don't want any cops here. I don't want anything to do with any law enforcement. I don't want anything. I just want to get up out of here, you know, like, because I didn't know what was going on. But I seen Kush had jumped on Nemo, and I didn't want that. So that's when I told Kush, I was like, listen, Nemo wants to get out of the car, man. I said, come ride with me, because I just didn't want Kush to hurt him, you know. And the other two individuals, I didn't want them calling anybody their boys.
They were all in the car, or they were all out of the car at that point?
No, they were all in their car.
Okay.
Kush jumped into the car with them.
Okay.
But I had him, like, get off of Nemo, because Nemo's a kid. I have a kid his age, you know that. And
how'd you get Nemo out of the car?
I told him to get out of the car and get in the car with me. Okay. After I told Kush to get out of the car, let Nemo out of the car, you know? Like, because that is the second time. The first time, you know, like, he got into it with Nemo, I'm that same guy that stood in between them, you know?
Originally, you told me that everybody's out of the car and that you ordered everybody back into the car at gunpoint.
No, I know that. No, I didn't do that though. That's not what I did. They were both all still in the car.
Okay.
Everybody was still in the car. The only person that I asked to come out of the car was Nemo. And I didn't say it in a manner where it was like threatening him to get into the car with me. No, I was like, no. I was pulling him away from them. No.
So that was basically the story was that they were out of the car. You said, you guys get in that car at gunpoint. You flashed the gun. You told Nemo, get in this car with me.
Right, but I clarified it. Right, I want to clarify it. I didn't tell Nemo in a threatening manner.
Okay.
You know, like, I want to clarify that, like, I didn't flash the gun at anybody. It's just.
Did you have the gun out?
No, I don't. I don't remember I was high that night. I don't, but I don't think I had the gun out.
Okay.
Because somebody said, when I walked up to the car and I seen Kush jumping on him, that's when I was like, Kush. I was like, Nemo, get out of the car. I was like, Kush, get off of him. You know, like, I literally went on the other side and I was like, listen, get off him. Nemo was like, get in the car with me. Kush, do not. You know, like, I don't want him hurting him. So that's why Nemo was in the car with me. And that's when Nemo and I were talking as I pulled out of there. When we left, you know, Bridget was just like following me or whatever, because I told Bridget to follow because I didn't want Nemo trapped with me per se, you know, because I wanted to exchange, get back in the car, do whatever. That's when we left, and then after Nemo and I had agreed, I was going to give him the money, to give him the dope, so he can do whatever needed to be done between him and Kush to fix all of that.
So you drive, you follow Bridget, eventually you stop up at the quarry. Tell me what happens then.
We get out of the car, and
How'd you get out of the car?
I stepped up. I opened the door and got out. Me and Nemo were talking, and I was like, listen, just get out and you tell him what we're gonna do. And when I got out of the car, Bridget gets out of the car and she's yelling at me, and I'm like, and then I just got paranoid about everything, you know, because nothing seemed right. It was just all over the place. Everybody was yelling at everybody, you know, and I'm high, they're high, of course, you know, so I don't remember clearly about everything that happened, but I do know what Bridget was saying to me, you know, and in the middle of all that, I got so frustrated with everybody because they're fighting about arguing about petty money for me, you know, whereas like he owes me thousands of dollars, you know, and I just wanted to, that's when I said, I'm done with all of you guys, like I'm over it.
What'd you see happen next?
Well, Bridget asked Kush, is like, listen, when we turn the lights back on for you, she was asking him if there was anything that she could do.
Where were the three at this point?
By her car. So, well, that's because they were all yelling at me, and I got paranoid. I thought they were all gonna do something to me at that time. So that's when I was like, listen, I'm freaking out, but then I'm trying to de-escalate the situation, you know. So that's when I put the gun down, like, listen, I don't want anything to do with any of this. I'm done with all of you. You guys can keep it, whatever. But Bridget kept arguing with me, and I felt like she was distracting me the whole time. You know, like, how I felt at that moment was they were all just, everybody was yelling at everybody, and I didn't know, you know, I mean, if you were high, if you were tweaking, you know, myself personally, I don't know anybody, I didn't know any of them, so my trust levels went from high to very low, you know, so, and when she's asking him, like, you know, is there anything that she can do to help, I'm just like, then I get even, you know, I got even more paranoid, so, but I didn't want.
So you're getting, you didn't know what was going on, where this might.
I didn't know what was going on, I didn't know what was happening, I just didn't want to be there. That's why I went over and got into my car. I was like, listen, just like, I'm leaving. I do not want anything to do with any of you guys arguing about this money, whatever. The damn money. You know, and I even told you that. I didn't care about whatever was going on between them after that. Because I tried to mediate it. I tried to squash it so that the drama would quit. I just wanted to get my money, and then I wanted to leave. So I was gonna go pick up my money and my dope, and I was gonna leave. And that's when I told him I'm leaving. I'm done with all you guys.
Where was everybody when you said that, or when that's when you decided to do that?
And that was right at that time when I started getting paranoid around everybody.
Where was everybody else?
They were in that same spot. Kush was yelling at me, he was over here, he was yelling at me. She's yelling at me on this side. I'm in the front of my car.
And the three other guys are where?
Right by the wheel of the car.
Standing there?
Yeah, they was just standing there at that time. And that's when I was like, man.
At what point did they get on their knees?
When I got paranoid, when I started going back into the car, because I wanted to make sure that I'm safe, because he's yelling at me about.
So you told them to get on their knees because you were paranoid that they were going to come after you?
Well, yeah, they're all going to come after me.
All right, so that's when you ordered them, or told them to get on their knees because you're thinking this is going to go awry towards you.
Yeah, well, of course. If there's 4 on 1.
Sure. So that happened, and then you turn to get in the car, or go towards your car, and you and Bridget are still arguing.
She's yelling at me. He's yelling at me. I was, at that time, I was super annoyed. I'm not even going to lie. I was super paranoid. Mm-hmm. But I don't want it insinuated that, you know, I was doing it to protect myself away from everybody because I don't know them, you know, and when you're tweaking, you can't, I don't know.
These other three you don't know, or who you
all of them.
Okay.
Well, when Kush starts yelling at me, you know, I mean, like him and I got into an argument a couple nights prior to that at the gas station, you know, and when I wake up and he's racking the slide at somebody I don't know and they're arguing, I mean, of course, the whole events that led up to that for myself didn't make me feel safe.
Okay. You didn't flash the gun down at the Holiday Inn.
I did not.
You had the gun when you got out.
It was in the car.
You had the gun when you got out at the quarry. You had the gun.
When I got out, yes, because I was wearing it when I got out.
Okay.
But I wanted it to be known, like, between myself and Nemo, there was nothing that was done between us.
When you say you were wearing it, explain that to me.
I had it. It was in a little pouch thing.
Okay.
So, and then when I put it on, it was just in case.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know them. I don't know what's going on. I don't want anybody jumping on me. But then when I de-escalated the situation, that's when I set it down. I was like, listen, I don't want anybody to think that I'm trying to hurt anybody. And that's when I set it down. But then they're all yelling at me, and I'm yelling back. We're all yelling. It was a chaotic situation.
Okay. What happens next? You're walking back to the car. It sounds like they're still arguing with.
Yeah, they're still arguing. Bridget comes.
Where did you put the pouch?
I don't remember. I think I set it down. I don't.
On the ground, on a car.
I think it was on the car.
Your car.
I don't remember if it was mine or if it was hers. It was like I said. It was all over the place. It was so chaotic. Might have been my car. It might have been hers. But I know I set it down. I know I didn't want anybody to feel any type of way. You know. So then he takes off.
He takes off. What? Explain that.
He took off. He was just like, he took off and went and jumped over something and took off into the dark. And I'm just like, I'm even more confused now, you know, like, what's really going on? And these guys are like looking at me crazy, and they're yelling and they're arguing, and she's.
Are they still on their knees at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
So that, like I said, when he took off, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what he was doing. I didn't know why she was still like arguing with me, you know, like yelling at me, and I got all wrapped up inside of my head, and I'm just like, man, this is just crazy. So when he came back, he's yelling still, and I'm just like, dude, listen, I said, I'm done with all of this, man. I said, I can't take any more of this. And that's when I told him, I was like, I'm done. I'm just done, completely done, because I'm frustrated with being frustrated by them.
Okay. Then what happened?
I don't know, I started to get into the car, and Bridget just came over and she kept saying, you know, like arguing with me, and just like, listen, I didn't lie. I was like, I don't care. I don't even care anymore. I was like, just get away from me. I was like, I don't even want to deal with you anymore. You know, like it has nothing to do with me anymore. Whatever you guys are doing, I said, it's between you guys now. I just wanted out. I just wanted away from them.
Then what happened?
So, and then Kush was over there, and he was talking with them, and he's saying something. I couldn't hear him because Bridget was still in my face about stuff, and I just told her, I said, just, I'm done. Just, and that's what I just kept telling him.
Mm-hmm.
So, that night, after that, Kush had fired a round into there, and I told him, I said, man, quit playing. You know, I was like, whatever you're trying to do, I said, just knock it off. I said, get in the car. I said, we're leaving. I'm leaving. I was like, I don't want whatever is going on over here. I was like, I'm leaving, man. So when he did that, that's when I started getting more paranoid. You know, I mean, why are you firing shots? There was no intentions of me trying to do anything of the sort. And I didn't understand why she kept asking him. She was like, listen, anything that I can do, you know, like, you want me to turn the lights back on for you? It just made me even more annoyed when she kept asking him that. So I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what they said in the car ride to that particular point, you know? Like, I didn't know. So
what happened next?
I was getting into my car, and I was trying to sync my phone to the Bluetooth, and she came up to the window, and she was just freaking out on me even more, and I'm just like, listen, get away from, just go, get away from me, you know? So, and then I just heard more gunshots, you know, and I didn't know what had happened. I did not know what at that point had transpired, nothing. I was oblivious to it, you know? All I know is that she's in my face, she's yelling at me, and I'm trying to like leave the situation. So I'm just, talking about it right now still frustrates me, you know? I just...
What'd you see happen?
I just... I don't remember. Like, honestly, I don't remember what after that. I just seen when he did that, when I was arguing, yelling at him, I told him just to get in the car, man. You know?
So you got in the car?
Yeah.
Okay.
So...
Where'd you go from there?
Got in the car and started driving away. You know? I was leaving. Because I did not want to be anywhere near that.
Okay. At some point, you told me that you got rid of the gun. Do you remember that?
I didn't get rid of it. Yes.
The gun.
Yes.
You said the gun got thrown out of the car.
Yeah.
What kind of gun was that?
A Glock.
Okay. You don't remember the model number or anything like that?
Yeah, just
anything specific about that gun that you remember?
Just black.
Anything on the handle of the gun or anything like that you remember or don't remember?
No.
Was the barrel ported or not ported, just regular?
I don't know.
If you saw it, would you know what it looked like?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't. Listen. During that time, a lot of it's a blur. When you're high, and you know this already, when you're high and you're tweaking, a lot of things are blurs, you know.
So you leave there, the gun gets thrown out of the car, you're going to go someplace. Tell me about that. How did you determine where you're going to go after that?
I was leaving.
Okay, and Kush was coming with you?
Well, no, he wasn't supposed to come with me. He was not supposed to come with me. That was for sure. You know, I just went there and it just freaked me out. Everything just freaked me out. When he got into the car, when she turned around, that's when he kind of softened, because I told you, when he got into the car, him and I were arguing still about it. And I told him, I said, man, forget about the money. I said, you know what? I said, I don't even care about the money you owe me. We can squash that. I don't care. And that's when he got all paranoid on me. And that's when he pulled the gun on me. And he just asked me, he was like, so where's the money? Where's the money in your dope? I was like, dude, I was like, really? I'm the guy that came down here and brought you your dope, you know, and trying.
What other discussions did you have on the way over to Elkhorn?
We didn't talk. And I told you, you know, like, we didn't really talk, but I didn't know what to do. He was there, he was quiet the whole time, and you see, I didn't take a direct route, because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was going on. I was in shock, man.
Who was closer to Bridget, you or Kush?
Who was closer to Bridget?
Yeah, I mean, not physically, but you know, had a tighter relationship?
Him and her.
Okay. Why do you think that? Or why would you say that?
Why would I say that?
Yeah.
Because he's the one that introduced me to her. I mean, he knew what kind of car he was gonna. She was gonna be his driver up to Minnesota when I was up there to bring back, you know, dope. So, like, they were a lot tighter. I mean, who rents a room for somebody they don't know?
Everybody.
No, I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, I didn't even know about it. why would you go and get a room when I have one? You know, so.
The most important thing that you can do for yourself right now is with the attorneys worked with the district attorney on this, is to be not withholding of any information, not minimizing any information, and telling me exactly how things played out. You know a little bit more, I'm guessing, through either articles or reports that you may have been allowed to read at this point. But it's very important that the truth is what you're telling me.
I am telling you the truth.
Without leaving out any details of anything that you would have, been culpable of. You did. I know that when I talked to you the first time that you were, at the hotel, it sounded like everybody was outside of the vehicles having an argument. Bridget walked away, went in. When she came back, you said, let's not do this here. Get in the car, and you flashed a gun at that point, and they listened to you, and away you went.
Yeah, but if you look in the cameras, you can see that it was just Bridget that was outside of the car. When Cushing got in, I got out.
The cameras on the hotel there don't show where you guys were parked.
Oh, I didn't know that. So, I'm letting you know, when she got out of the car, Cush got out of the car. I was still in the car.
Yep.
And I had the window down.
Yep.
And I looked out.
Okay. I just want to make sure I just want to make sure that you understand that the truthfulness and not minimizing and everything is what's going to help you out the most. And I just have this sense that it's some reason in your head right now that you're trying to minimize what happened. And I'm not saying that you're lying. I think you're just. But if the God's honest truth, what you're telling me now is that's exactly how it happened, then that's what we go. That's what you tell me that. But if there's some things with some of the things you might have been a little bit more responsible in, let me know that too, because this is
from the very beginning. I had already told you I didn't do any. I didn't have any intentions. None of my intentions were.
I never said. I think the whole time that I don't think I ever said that you intended to do anything. In my interview with you back up in Stevens Point, I don't know, we were trying to get to the truth of the matter, but I don't know, I think back then you were minimizing some things. You finally came around and kind of talked about your culpability, what you were responsible in this. You had no idea that they were going to get killed. You had no idea that was going to happen, but I just feel somewhat that you're not, that whatever reason you're trying to back away from some more of the, and it's gonna,
because I don't remember like my interview with you. I was high at the time, and I told you that. You remember I told you that I was high, and I was on LSD. So
my interview with you that I've told to many people in the DA's office and guys I work with is that I was very kind of taken aback how articulate you were and how intelligent you were. You didn't come across as being a meth head tweaking out,
functioning one,
anything like that. There was nothing that I saw in that interview that you were like gassed, geeked to your gills on meth or LSD, that you were, floating away here or there, or anything like that. You were very. We had a conversation much like this conversation we're having now. There wasn't a whole lot of.
But I stopped a lot when I was talking to you because I couldn't recall a lot of things.
And that's fine. But I mean, to say that you were, high at the time, you may have been high, but you were. You were having a conversation just like you and I are having a conversation now.
Have you ever met a functioning addict?
Well, I'm just saying that you're functioning. Functioning is a key word there.
Yeah, a functioning one. Yeah. It doesn't mean that I still wasn't like altered, for frame of mind of thinking. So I need you to understand.
I do. I
understand
that. I've talked to. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to in my career that are under the influence of different drugs, and you can tell here or tell there, a little thing here that you can see that that's the case. But I just want to make sure that everything we got. I want to show you. We recovered a gun kind of in that area. I want to show you if that's the gun. It's no, I mean, it was years later, obviously, that we recovered it. And see if that refreshes your memory at all. Obviously, that's rust.
Yeah. I don't recall it.
That stand out to you at all? That ringed out. Okay.
No.
Said it was laying in like, when you initially told me that Tom had thrown it out of the car when you guys were hightailing it out of there.
After Bridget turned around.
Do you remember that?
Telling you that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember telling you that.
Okay. Do you remember the route? It's only been 2 years. Come on.
Listen, I'm all, you know, I'm a lot older now. Plus, I don't. Like I said, that night was weird. You know.
Yeah, I imagine by anybody's standards,
Yeah,
it was a weird night.
It was very, very weird because I wasn't expecting a lot of things that happened that evening. You know, like I wasn't expecting her to be arguing with him, yelling at me. I wasn't expecting them to be in the car. I wasn't expecting any of those things, and I wasn't expecting them to pull a gun on me. That was way. That just threw me for a loop.
Tell me about that.
When he got in his car, and when I turned the lights on, he freaks out. And he's like, "What are you trying to do?" You know, I can't see, I can't drive without the lights on. You know, and then you know it's like he calls Bridget, and he's talking to Bridget. So he's like, "Hey, listen," he says, "I'm serious. We need to meet up." And that's exactly what, you know, he says to her. And, you know, at this time, he's got the gun on me because I turned the headlights on the car because I couldn't see. So as I'm driving, you know, and then I notice that she's behind us, and then they're talking back and forth. Yeah, I don't know what she's saying, but I know he's like, "Listen, we need to meet up somewhere, you know, meet up at a bar or somewhere."
Talking on the phone?
You're right, they're talking on the phone. Him and Bridget are talking on the phone. And I'm like, I'm just driving because I don't know what they're talking about. I know he's got a gun on me. We're driving away. Then I notice that she stops, she turns around, and they're still talking. And then, you know, and all of a sudden, she's driving back the opposite direction. And when he looks back, then he noticed that. And then, you know, a little short while later, he takes the gun down. He was like, "Man, I'm sorry," you know, and I'm just like, I can't trust you anymore. You pulled a gun on me. You know, like I don't know what is what with you, and he's obviously he's high. You know, I'm high, but I'm like trying to wrap my head around everything, dude. I don't know. I was scared and I was shocked all at the same time, and I didn't know what had transpired. I don't know. I was a mess. I was a mess that night, and I didn't know what was going on and how I felt at that time. You know, it was just crazy. But when we were driving back, it's just I don't know. All I knew was I wanted to just get out of there and get away from everything. And I didn't know why she had turned around. I have no idea why she turned around or what she had said to him. I just know the one side where he was saying to her.
You guys didn't have any conversations all the way across the state? You stayed over there, no conversations at all?
He slept. We slept.
And then you ended up taking him up to
my house
in
Oklahoma.
And then you ended up taking him up to Wausau.
I just wanted to separate myself from him because I didn't want him.
No conversations you had about the triple homicide that just took place in front of you?
Yeah, but it didn't happen in front of me. I never said that it happened in front of me. I understand what you're saying, but no, there was no
no conversation about a triple homicide that just happened in your vicinity of where you were.
No,
never talked about that. Okay.
I'm scared to talk about it. I'm scared to, like, you know, if I say the wrong thing, what's he gonna do to me? You know, I mean, what? Obviously, I don't know if you've ever had a gun pulled on you, you know, especially in that particular state. You know, and I mean, we're at my house. My wife was in the house. I'm not trying to have anything happen to her, or even to me, or, you know. But that was the other thing, you know. I didn't know what to do. What was I supposed to do? You know, like, this guy's, he's everywhere I went. You know, like, he's right there, and the conversation that him and I are having is just, he's just always looking at me like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." You know, like, what am I supposed to say? You know, like, dude, I don't know what happened. I don't know why you pulled the gun on me. I mean, like, you're supposed to be, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to be
business with you, right?
Right, exactly. So, and the last time that I seen him, it was a ruse. I told him, I was like, "Listen, I'm going to park the car and I'll be right in." And that's when I just separated myself from him. You know, and told everybody that he told everybody, as far as what I hear anyways, is that you know, whatever. It's just what I heard. It's not like factual. So. Remember when I asked you why you never went and asked her certain things?
Like what?
When I was in the hospital? Why you never asked her why she was asking him how she could help him?
You asked me why. Say it again. When you were in the hospital.
When I was in the hospital and you were there,
yeah.
I asked you, I said, how come you didn't ask Bridget why she was asking him how she could help him? What could she do to help him?
Okay.
And she kept asking him over and over and over. So that's why I was telling you, I was like, I was paranoid about it.
Mm-hmm.
But you just kind of like shrugged me off. But I was asking you, and I'm asking you now.
Well, at that point, I wasn't asking you any questions, I believe, right? When you're in the hospital?
No, you weren't asking me any questions. Not pertaining to this, anyways.
Yeah. For a reason, because you had an attorney at that point, I believe, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So that's why I didn't ask you any questions. So.
But I had asked you, so I'm asking you now that my attorney is present. I am asking you now.
And I don't know if those questions have been asked of Bridget. There's another investigator, two other investigators that were handling that aspect of it. I can ask.
Okay. You know, I mean, it's just weird because I have to ask you this also. Elena Jean.
Yeah.
Did you guys interview her? Yeah. Did you talk to her?
I couldn't tell you right now off the top of my head if we talked to Elena Jean.
Okay.
I believe we've talked to Elena Jean and other things not related to this, so I'm getting my memory. Like I said, I haven't gone through that. What do you got for Elena Jean?
Well, Elena Jean was, okay, so Bridget, this is what I was told by somebody that was present at this getting together or whatever.
Before or after?
This was before any of this even happened. How Bridget, Uncle, Crazy, whatever his name is, Kush, how they were plotting and conspiring to rob and kill me because I had brought all that dope. And so, but a lot of it was done, like a lot of their initial was done on Messenger, I believe. And Elena's got it all stored in her phone because she showed the messages to this other individual. So.
What's the other individual?
Kajua.
Kajua who?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, it's like, that stuff was, I don't know. I just couldn't believe, I just can't believe, that's all. I'm still in shock about it until this very day, because I never did any of them wrong like that. I never did anybody bogus like that, you know, and for them, I mean, when I heard that, and I look at things now, it's like, okay, something didn't go right with them or something, you know, because...
Let me take a break. I'll come right back in a little bit.
All right, are you going to turn off the recorder?
I will turn off. If you want me to turn the recorder off, I will turn the recorder off. I can do that. I'll turn it off. You guys can speak it.
Sure. Did you hit the record?
I just turned it back on.
Okay, so clarification wise, I don't remember with the gun when we got out of the car at the hotel, because I talk with my hands, you know, so I may have, so, and I don't remember clearly. I just said I was high at the time.
I have what? You gotta spell it out.
You may have had the gun. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, I may have, yes. Yes, I may have had the gun.
Okay.
In my hand when I told Nemo to get in the car with me.
Okay.
But I don't remember for sure.
Okay.
You know, because like I said, I didn't want...
What about at the quarry?
At the quarry?
Mm-hmm.
I had the gun out. You know what I mean? Like I brought it out, yes, but I wasn't waving it at anybody.
No.
You know what I mean? Like
when you say you had it out, what did you explain that?
I just had it on me.
Okay.
I just had it out of the car is what I meant.
So it was on your person when you got
Right.
out. Okay. At any time when you're at the quarry, would that have been in your hand?
No.
Do you remember?
I didn't have the gun in my hand.
Okay.
So it was in the pouch, whatever. I mean, whatever.
I think before you kind of explained it as maybe like a fanny pack or something like that. Or is that what that more consistent? Like, okay.
You know, that's why I said yes. I brought it out of the car. Yes, it was on my person.
When you ordered them to get down on their knees so they weren't going to come follow you when you walked to your car, where was the gun at that point?
I had set it down. I don't, you know, like because prior to that, I didn't want anybody to feel there was any threat. You know what I mean? Like I just wanted myself like, okay, listen, and everything was just moving so fast, man. That night, you know,
You don't know at what point did Kush?
I don't know if he grabbed it. I don't know if she handed it to him. I don't know how he ended up with it. And that's just total honesty with that, you know. And but I'm not trying to make things in any sort of a way, you know. But the way that I just need to clarify if there are some things that that need clarification. I just ask that you would ask me just to clarify per se. You know what I'm saying? Because how things are going, I don't want you to think that I'm shying away from what was. And in the very beginning, I want you to also know that I wasn't very forthcoming with everything because I was still in shock. Obviously, I was also under the influence at the time, and I just got gang tackled, you know, and I mean there was just a lot of things that were going through my mind at the time. So
that was a long interview, and that's, I think, when you first started out, I could see that, I could sense that in you, that your mind was spinning with what you're going to talk about, what you're not. But then you kind of finally settled down a little bit through the course of that interview that we talked about, and kind of we got to understand. You know, I know that there's many sides of truth and to that, but
I didn't believe you. I mean, when you first came in, what did I do? You know, I was like, yeah, right. I didn't believe you were who you said you were, you know, and I mean, there was a lot of things. So I was going through a lot at that time.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I just, where I am now, I'm still recalling certain spots, you know, of that particular night, and I want you to know that I'm honest about this entire situation.
And that's all we asked from the get-go. I don't want you to make up any stories.
Right.
I never wanted to make up any stories. I want the honesty, exactly how it happened, you know. And sometimes when you talk to people in this type of a setting, people are reluctant to tell the whole thing, and I just wanted to make sure that we've got the whole story out there, the truth of it, and not withholding anything to this point, okay? That we everything's laid out on the table, and this is how it happened. I'm going to tell you the truth and go for it. You know, that's what we need to look for. Again, I don't want you to say something that you don't know to be true or to be fact or anything like that.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. All right. Give me 1 second. I'm going to turn this back off. I'll step back in a second. Do you need anything? You want soda or anything?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
That makes sense, because
Yeah. That's just truth. Back home.
Just so I understand, just so we get a clear picture of everything, let's go through this one more time.
Okay.
Just to be clear and to make sure things are, to add clarity to it. If we're talking about the other guy or something like that, say, you know, we're talking about Kush, we're talking about Bridget, we're talking about Nemo, we're talking about just, we have a tendency to sometimes say that guy or things like that. And I don't know if you did a whole lot of that, but I just want to make sure that it's clear. So, the night in question, so let's start at, you were on the phone with her before you met them
At the hotel.
at the lights when you were going to go right and she was in the left lane. That there were some conversations you had with Bridget prior to that on the phone during the day or whatnot. Again, we'll go. You get there to the hotel. Let's start at the lights. You're side by side. Go from there.
Okay.
You were in the car with
Kush.
Who was in Bridget's car that you saw?
At that time, I didn't know.
Didn't know who it was.
Right.
There was more than 2 people.
I don't know. Her windows are
You don't even know. Okay.
Her windows are tinted. I don't know who's in the car.
Gotcha.
Okay.
We go to, from the lights, we're going to go to the Holiday Inn.
Okay.
Okay. You're concerned about, is this you talking on the phone?
Right. I didn't know if it was her or whatever. And I was like, is that you in front of me? You know, like, so I said, if it's you, I said, just tap your brakes, you know, and then, because I thought he was just like telling me to follow some random car.
Did Kush say that's Bridget's car?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. He was like, that's, you know, and I was like, how do I know? You know what I mean? Like, that there's tons of cars that look like that. So that's why I was like, how do you know that's her car? You know? So I just wanted to be sure. I didn't want to be following some random stranger. You know what I mean? So I asked her just to tap her brakes, and she did that. So I was like, oh. And I said, all right. And then I just asked her what she was doing. She said she was going to the hotel to drop off paperwork. I said, okay. So when we got down to the hotel, I didn't know who was in the car. She gets out of the car. Kush gets out of the car. He goes and he looks into the car. I'm still in the car. And I roll the window down.
Where are you parked? Side by side, front, back?
No, it's kind of like I was in front like this, and she was like it was like this. So like my back end was towards the front quarter panels, I guess you say it like that, diagonally from each other like this. I was in the driver's seat, you know. I didn't know who was in the car. I didn't know what was, nothing. I just seen him get out of the car.
Kush gets out.
Kush gets out of the car.
These are the cars. So your car, her car, right?
If we're like,
yeah, front of the car, front of the car.
correct.
So you pull up here. Kush gets out here.
Yep.
Comes around here. Okay.
He went all around. He just went around there. So I mean, he got here. I don't know, whatever, and then he came. Somehow he got over here.
Mm-hmm.
When he got over here, she stepped out of the vehicle. Bridget stepped out of the vehicle, and Kush opened the back door, and he got in, And when I seen that he'd got in, I didn't know who was. I still didn't know who was. I just seen the guy in the front seat. He was on the phone. I didn't know who he was talking to. I didn't want any law enforcement involved. So I got out of the car. I told him to put his phone down. I said, "Give me your phone." I said, because I don't want any cops here. I don't want any drama here. And then when I looked in the back seat, Kush, Nemo was sleeping, I believe, and Kush woke him up, and he was punching on him.
Gotcha.
So I was like, oh, I wasn't okay with that. So I told him, listen, I said, dude, stop, So he stopped, and that's when I was like, Nemo, get out of the car, like, get in the car with me. I said, I don't want any of that drama. So, and I know I said that in the previous as well.
Yep. So Nemo gets out of the car.
So Nemo gets out of the car.
And Kush is where?
Kush gets out of the car. He's standing in the back, like towards the back end of the vehicle, and he's just mugging. I'm like, dude, listen. I was like, leave him alone. I was like, you know what I mean? Like, whatever it is that needs to be resolved. Obviously, he couldn't handle it, not that particular way. So I was trying to mediate the situation. I was trying to get a feel on what was really what was going on.
What are the other guys in the car doing at this point?
But they were just sitting in the car.
Okay.
They were just both sitting in the car, I mean, like I said, I don't know who was in the back seat. I didn't know who was in the back seat. Never seen the guy, and I didn't know the guy in the front seat. So,
Get Nemo out of there.
Bridget came out.
Okay.
Nemo was still sitting outside of my car on the passenger, and I was talking to him, and I was, like basically telling him, like, listen, dude.
You're talking to Nemo over here.
Like, no, he's up here.
Right here by the door.
Is
he in the car? Or
No,
he's outside the car?
No, he's outside of the car.
Okay.
So I'm telling him, like, listen, I don't know what's going on between you two, but you guys are supposed to be like brothers. You guys are supposed to be homies. I said, so I don't understand what's going on with you guys. I said, if you took it, give it back to him, whatever it is.
Okay.
And, so, but I made sure to just keep them separated. And then Bridget came back out into the car, and I didn't want to be sitting there. I didn't know if he'd dial 911. I didn't know who he called. I just didn't want anybody showing up surprising me,
Sure.
Or whatever, surprising the whole situation, and then it was going to escalate into something else that it shouldn't have. So I told him, just get in the car with me. I said, we'll talk about it, and got in the car with me. And so
Kush got in their car.
Right. I didn't want him and Nemo near each other. I didn't want him anywhere near Nemo.
Okay.
So
you start driving. Well, you told me before you start driving, and you don't know where you're going. So was
Right.
a phone call made?
Yes. I called over there. I called Kush's phone. He didn't answer it. So I called Bridget's phone, and I was like, listen, I said, I'm just driving aimlessly. I said, I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. I said, but him and I were like, I don't know what's going on here. I said, because I'm telling him already, I'm like, listen, I'm going to give you the dope, and that'll be that. Because I told you in my other interview that I owed him money for, because he gave me money because he wanted drugs from me. So
Bridget takes over. You end up at the quarry. Explain how that all played out once you got there.
Everybody got out of the car.
You got out of the car.
Yes.
Nemo got out of the car, out of your car.
Right.
Okay. You had your satchel over your shoulder or wherever you had it. When you were back down at the Holiday Inn, was there a point in which that gun came out of the satchel?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I may have.
Okay.
But I don't believe that.
Kush ever have a gun that night?
Yeah, he had the gun.
No, a different gun.
I don't know. I didn't know. I know he had a knife on him.
Okay.
I don't know what else he had on him.
Everybody gets out of the car, so now we've got two cars parked at the quarry. This is the front of the car. Why did that stop working?
Because it's not on paper.
Front of the car. is on this side.
No.
Fence is here.
Yes.
So this is, so she pulled in, you backed in.
Right, because I remember I said I drove past. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what they were doing.
Okay.
So I drove past it, and then I backed up into it because I didn't see it.
Sure.
You know.
You get out of the car here. Nemo gets got out of the car here.
Right.
Bridget gets out of this one. Two other people get out of the back. You know where Kush was sitting in that car?
He was back here, I believe.
So you're all right in this area now.
No.
Tell me where everybody went.
Here, everybody. Okay, so Bridget came out this way. Kush was back here, and he went up this way also. And these two got out, and they were standing here. Nemo was still here. I was over here, and I came around over here.
Gotcha.
And I was trying to talk to them, and Bridget came over here, and her and I are arguing back and forth. They're all arguing.
What are you guys arguing about?
Bridget and I?
Yeah.
Bridget and I were arguing about the fact that I had just asked her, I said, listen, I said, if you run into Nemo, I said, to call me, you know, like for us, so I could talk to him on the phone to resolve this stupid issue. And then she's arguing with me. She's like, I didn't lie to you. And I was like, I don't care whether you lied to me. I said, that's not my point. My point is, I'm trying to resolve something stupid, you know, and you guys are like getting me involved in something that doesn't even concern me, you know. So her and I were just arguing back and forth, and she's yelling at me, and I'm just like, I'm yelling at her. I'm like, dude, why are you yelling at me? So I'm yelling, she's yelling, we're yelling back and forth. They're all yelling. I'm yelling at them to like, I'm just trying to tell everybody to shut up, and nobody's listening. Everybody's high, you know. So
How do we get all these guys over here?
Here, I don't know. From what I think, let me rephrase that. Kush told them to go up that way, but I was still over here, and Bridget and I were arguing over here. So there was a gap between us here. So the fence is over there. Then, out of the blue, Kush shoots over the fence.
Jumps over the... Shoots the gun over the fence? Or
No, he jumps over the...
Okay.
He climbs up over or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He mumbled something, and then he just shot off into the dark.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on. And I asked her, I'm like, what's going on? You know, like, I'm asking her, like, what's going on here? And she's like, I don't fucking know, you know, and then he comes back, and, you know, like, he's yelling at me now. He's saying something about, like, man, need to hurry up, you know, and I'm just like, okay, well, you know, like, hurry up. I want to get out of here too, you know, so, but then they're all yelling back and forth. Now I have Bridget and Kush both yelling at me, you know, and I'm yelling at Kush, like, what are we even doing here? I'm asking her, and she's asking him, like, hey, is there anything I can do to help, you know, and I'm just like, okay, now things are just different, you know, like, I'm feeling weird about the whole situation. So we're yelling back and forth, and I just told Kush, I was like, listen, man, I was like, this is petty, you know, like, he's yelling at me and I'm yelling at him. I'm just like, I don't even remember what we were yelling about, but I know there's must have been some enmity still, because, you know, like I said, him and I got into an argument a couple nights before at the gas station, but also how I woke up to him arguing with somebody in the hotel room. You know, arguing with, I don't know who the person was, but I know that it was him, E, and another person, and some guy that I didn't recognize. But, so we were yelling about that, arguing about that, and I just asked him, I was like, listen, what are you doing? You know, like, why are we even here right now? You know, and I told him, I said, I don't care about the money. I'm yelling at him. Like,
what was his response?
His response was like, well, yeah, well, it was mine, though. I was like, I don't care. Like, I don't care, you know, like, about anybody's money. You know, like, if he owes you, then he owes you, you know, but we're arguing, him and I are arguing back and forth, and I'm telling her, I'm like, listen, because she'd owed Kush the money too, and I gave her the money to give to him so that he would get off her back. You know, it's like, I wasn't I wasn't all about the whole owing anybody anything, you know, and it was like I'm just trying to look out for everybody, and that's what I was trying to do, was just trying to fix the situation, trying to fix everything, you know, and that's why Kush and I were arguing about it, you know, and I was arguing with Bridget because she kept interrupting while I was trying to talk to him, and then when I would turn to say something to her, he would start yelling at me, and then it just, you know, it was just, I got frustrated. I got mad because I'm trying to resolve this baby mama drama, as I call it, you know, and so then when I turned around arguing with her, with Bridget, I didn't see what Kush did, but when I turned around, Kush had fired a shot into the air. And that's when I told the man, listen, stop playing, stop messing with them.
How did they get on their knees?
Oh, I told him.
Okay.
When everybody started arguing over here, I got scared. I got paranoid because she's asking Kush, like, is there anything I can do to help? I got paranoid.
So you want to get them far away from you as you could, so you ordered them on their knees over here.
I just told him, no, because, yeah, I felt like there was going to be a 4-on-1, 5-on-1, you know, it's like, it's just me. I'm not familiar with any of them, you know, like, I don't know any of them like that, and so that's, yes, and that's what I did. I was protecting myself at that time because I didn't know what was happening. I didn't understand the situation.
Sure.
I didn't know what the situation was. I didn't know why they were yelling at me. I didn't know why they were yelling at. I didn't know why everybody was yelling. So I mean, I didn't know what the situation was. So to protect myself, I told Kush, like, dude, you know, like, stay away from me. I'm like, you three, yeah. When they were down, I was like, just sit down, kneel down right there by the tire. And I like, Bridget, get away from me. I was like, I don't know what anybody's doing here. So that's how they got down there, I guess.
Okay. You know at what point their pockets got turned inside out?
No, that's when I was yelling at Kush.
Okay.
I was like,
what point did you put the gun down?
I don't remember when I put it down.
You know where you put it down?
I don't remember where I put it down.
Okay.
I believe I put it on top of my car, in a car somewhere. I just know that I set it down because I didn't want anybody to feel threatened in any sort of form of way. I just wanted to just get out of there. So I set it down. I was just like, I'm done with everybody. I'm just done with all of this. You know, I don't care about the money. I don't care about any of this. It's like I just want to leave, but I don't know where I'm going there. So.
What did you see of Kush doing with the three individuals? So you go back to your car. Where are you now? The three guys are sitting here. Bridget, you are arguing here. Kush goes where?
Oh, Kush went over there.
Okay. And do you know that Kush has got a gun at that point?
No,
You hear a gunshot at some point.
Yes, that's when I was arguing with Bridget. When I was I started walking this way, and Bridget was following me. And when I got to the, because I was opening the door and I was putting myself back into the car. When I opened the door, that's when Kush fired off the shot, and that's when I was like, listen, dude, stop playing all that crap, you know, like, they're kids. So I got into the car, and Bridget came, and she's arguing with me still. She's like, I didn't lie to you. She kept trying to, like, prove her innocence towards me, you know, or whatever. And I was like, listen, I don't care. I'm done. I'm trying to, like, tell her to get away from me, but also trying to sync my phone at the same time to my Bluetooth. So, you know, and when I got into the car, and that's when I started it up. I mean, while I was in the car, I heard, you know, like, another shot, and I thought he was still out there playing games. You know, so I got out of the car and I was like, dude, get in the car. You know, like I'm done with all of this.
Where is he when you say that?
He's over here.
Where are they?
He front of them.
Right here. 3.
He's over here.
He's here. 1, 2, 3
Yeah.
here. Down on their knees.
Yeah.
You've heard 2 shots at this point.
Right.
Okay.
But they were arguing, still going back and forth.
Okay. So you come out here and you're like, dude, what's going on?
Right.
What do you say?
He's didn't say
They're
anything.
saying they're just okay.
Yeah.
Then what happened?
I told him, I was like, just let's get in the car. I said, I'm done with all this. I said, I'm done.
Okay.
You know.
Tell me what you heard next.
Bridget said something to me. I turned on her and I told her, I said, get away from me. Like, I don't want to talk to you. And then I got into the car and she came over and she was on this side. And, you know, like, I rolled the window down. I was like, listen, we're done talking. I'm yelling at them. I'm done talking. I'm done. I said, don't call me. Don't, nothing. And then I started to roll the window up. So.
Do you hear gunshots then?
I don't remember.
You don't remember if you heard you heard the 2 gunshots prior.
Correct.
And that gets you to come out and say what's going on.
Right.
You don't remember if you heard any other gunshots.
No.
You didn't turn over your shoulder to see what was going on, or look in the rear mirror to see what was going on at that point.
I was distracted with arguing with Bridget at my window.
Okay, so the next thing you know, that Dawson Cush is running into your car.
Yeah, well, no, Bridget was by the car, and
Still here?
Yeah, she was here, and then she went over here, and she was saying, I don't know what she was saying to Cush, but she was saying something to Cush, and then after that, she came back and she was saying something to me. I just rolled the window up on her, and I just told her, I said, I'm done talking to her.
Where did she go?
I don't know where she went, but Cush got into the car with me, and I didn't see what she did.
Okay. You never saw the 3 guys?
No, I didn't.
Okay. You guys left the parking lot and went?
We went this way.
No.
Yep. We went this way. She came out behind. She was following us. And when I flicked the lights on my car, because I couldn't see where I was going, he pulled the gun on me. And he says to me, he's like, what are you trying to do? You setting me up or something? I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't understand why he was pulling the gun on me and asking me, for money for the dope. And I'm just like, now I'm inside my head. I'm like, dude, after everything, I'm appalled. I'm shocked too. And then prior to that, though, I called Bridget, just to let her know, like, listen, I don't have any, I'm just done. I didn't want there to be any bad blood though. So I was trying to just smooth things out and just go about my business. But then he calls her after she answered and then she hung up right away. She didn't even talk to me. He calls her and they talk, and I just hear one side of the conversation where he says, I'm serious, and then he was telling her, like, we need to meet up somewhere. That's, I don't know what she said, but they were on the phone for a little bit while he's got the gun on me, and I don't know what they're talking about. And there's a million things racing through my mind, so.
You got any questions, Bernardo? I'm good. You got any questions of me?
All right. Will you look into it?
What's that?
Will you look into the,
Yeah, I'll see if somebody already has.
okay.
I'll turn this on.
3 lives, cut short in an instant. 1 man, condemned to spend the rest of his days behind bars. But while justice has been served in the eyes of the law, the ripples of this tragedy will haunt families, friends, and an entire community for years to come. Cases like this remind us that beneath the surface of small-town life, darkness can hide in plain sight, waiting for the right moment to strike. Thank you for joining us as we examine the interrogation, the confession, and the truth behind one of Wisconsin's most chilling triple homicides. Until next time, stay aware, stay safe, and never stop asking questions.